Hi folks, a very warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. It's Andy here to go through everything Celtic, the Hibs game, Stuttgart game, everything else coming up later on, the Glasgow Derby. We'll go through everything, predictors, competitions, everything else in between. But let's say hello to John first. John, how are you doing? It's been a tough old time for us Celtic fans, John, losing to Hibs, losing to Stuttgart. Stuttgart coming up at the weekend and then Ibrox coming up. But I did say to you about 7 days ago, that there was a run of 6 games coming up, vital 6 games. We've lost the first 2, John. We've now got to go to Germany to play Stuttgart. It's been the worst possible start to these 6 games.
Aye, it's not been good, has it? I mean, the Stuttgart game shouldn't be getting beat by Stuttgart at Celtic Park, even though they're a good team. But Celtic shouldn't be getting turned over by them at Celtic Park. I'd understand maybe a close game, a 2-1 defeat or something, but 4-1, going on 7-1 or whatever. Heard Martin O'Neill defending that. He says it was never a 4-1 game. He's right, it should have been 7 or 8-1.
Yeah, well, you look at it, John. Stuttgart shouldn't be coming to Celtic Park and winning 4-1. You look at the result of the weekend with Stuttgart, going away to Heidenheim and drawing 3 each. A team like Heidenheim scoring 3 goals against them, John, and Stuttgart couldn't beat them. A very poor German team, actually. And they come to Celtic Park and put 4 past us. Just things at Celtic Park just now. It's just total turmoil just now.
It is, it's bad, isn't it? Hiding time, and now they're playing hiding time. Time for Celtic to hide yet again. The Celtic fans, I mean, going away to Stuttgart. Look, I'm sure Stuttgart know the ties over. They might field a weakened team. They might have a look at who Celtic might potentially field for this game with a far more important game at the weekend. So, look, the outcome of this game, as long as we don't go there and take a hiding, and I'll be happy, because the last thing you need going into a big derby game is another scalping like that. And I don't think any Celtic fans are confident. I've not seen any Celtic fans saying this is easy, come on, let's get it done, we can claw this back. That's not going to happen. There's no way in a million years that's going to happen.
No, but John, and I'll go through the stats later as regards to that, but we definitely want to avoid another Heidenheim, as you say, John. That's definitely not in the cards for us. We need to keep it respectable, a very narrow defeat or a draw, something like that. And as regards to Stuttgart, their manager's come out and said he's going to field his strongest team because the tie is not over yet, but he's going to say that, John. But they're going to field their strongest possible team. But we'll get into that, John. We'll get into the preview of the big Stuttgart game, John. But first of all, I want us to run through the latest Celtic news surrounding Celtic, obviously. Wee bits of snippets of news to talk about, John, first. But first of all, if you could hit that like button, that would be appreciated. Smash that like button, get the likes up. Last video was well over 45, which was tremendous. First time for us. So keep hitting that like button, folks. That would be very much appreciated. And subscribe as well if you can, if you've not done so already. Right, John, let's get into the news then. Where do we start? Everything's going against us just now. It really is. Things are slipping away very quickly for Celtic. No more slip-ups in the league, clearly. Can't afford to lose one more single point. But the title is still in our hands, but we need to see big improvements from the players on the green grass, John. So we'll wait and see what happens in the next couple of games. But as regards to the news, SFA reject Big Trusty's appeal. John, that's been rejected for the violent conduct smash on the Hibs player's arm, John, when he's trying to free himself. So he's now got a 3-game ban, Big Trusty.
I didn't expect that to get overturned. They're not going to get back in a word. I mean, VAR's overruled the referee, and when that's the case, there's no chance that's going to get overturned. Look, Trusty's got to learn to behave himself. At the first time seeing that, I thought there's nothing in it. But the second time seeing it, he's quite forcefully punched McGrath, wasn't it? He's quite forcefully punched him in the arm. You can't. I know a lot of Celtic fans think it's no a red card, and you could argue he's trying to free himself. Players shouldn't be holding on to players for a start. But he actually punched his arm away, and I can see why he's under. I know some Celtic fans will be saying never, never, never. And it is soft. It is very, very soft. But you can't go forcing yourself on a player like that with that much force. Even, what do you think? I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I'm still thinking it's soft. But I'm thinking at the same time, at that time, I was really angry with Trusty doing that.
Yeah, for me, John, it's a red card. It's due to the actual force of the punch on the Hibs player's arm, John. It doesn't matter if it's his arm, his leg, his face. It's a punch on an opposite player, John, and it's very forceful. And it's a red card. And by the way, Trusty has stitched us up big time. That's 3 points dropped, John. And the league challenge, that's 3 points gone because of, let's face it, it's because of him. We were attacking at that point, John. We're getting corner after corner, attacking. He does that and he gets sent off. But we'll have a wee word on the Hibs game, John. But I think Big Trusty has stitched us up there big time. And he's now facing a 3-game ban, John. So it gives Arthur a chance to come in, the young centre-half who did okay when he came on against Hibs, actually. Just gives him a chance, and then he's going to be thrown right into the fire against Rangers Ibrox.
Aye, well, he might be better than Trusty, we don't know yet. Trusty's he's a liability. I've said it time and time and time again. And by the way, McGrath's play acting after that that's what got him sent off, the play acting. That's a disgrace in itself. Now, I'm not sticking up for Trusty here. I've said it 2 minutes ago. He shouldn't be doing that. He should not be doing that. It's unprofessional, it's childish. But the play acting from McGrath is outrageous. If somebody hit me in the arm like that, I wouldn't go rolling about like I've been hit with a Scud missile.
We heard that in a while. Yeah, you're right, John. It's just down to the force, though, isn't it? He's going to play act. He's going to try and get the player sent off. That's just what players do these days, John. But, you know, all you have to do is try and free yourself the way every player tries to free themselves inside the box. It doesn't need to be so forceful. So, yeah, it's all down to Trusty, this, John. That red card, it's down to him. It's down to himself. The player deserves what he got, as far as I'm concerned. Albeit, you know, it is harsh in the same breath as well, John. It's not as if he's actually punched the guy in the face. He's just trying to free himself, isn't he? But because of the force of it, he gets the red card and it's not overturned. So he's got that 3-game ban, and it gives other players a chance, John. Because let's face it, we trust in the team. We've been leaking goals right, left and centre.
He's a total liability. He is. I wouldn't say it. I'm glad that he's been banned because we need all our players available. But he's a liability. Him and Kasper Schmeichel and Liam Scales. I'm not going to discount him. He's responsible as well for the goals getting leaked. Both him and Trusty. Terrible. Liam Scales, like I says, time and time again, I've praised him. He was my player of the season last season. I think he's an outstanding centre half. I just don't think he can perform without Carter-Vickers.
Looks that way to me as well, John. Actually, he's missing Big Vickers, and when it's Trusty and Vickers, no matter who it is beside Vickers, they absolutely shine, didn't they? Without Vickers, they're struggling big time. So yeah, totally agree with that, John. That's enough on Trusty. Anyway, John, he starts his 3-game ban against the Rangers on Sunday. He's available to play against Stuttgart, obviously, because it's a different competition. Okay, Beaton and McLean, the referee and the VAR referees for the game at Ibrox on Sunday, John. I don't know what to make of this. It's as if the SFA are trying to do everything they possibly can to hinder Celtic beating the referee and McLean on the VAR for Ibrox.
Surprised they didn't throw in Robertson and Dallas as the assistants, by the way, because they're no hiding the fact that they're putting in officials that most Celtic fans think there's an agenda with these guys, but they keep throwing them into derby matches. It's blatant. It is blatant. They're doing that, but as we keep saying, Celtic can only look after themselves.
Yeah, I know. The one that could have flung in is Dickinson, John. He is just as bad as any other. He's a terrible referee. In fact, he's the referee that sent off 2 of the players playing against Rangers in the last 3 games, John. Dickinson was a referee in 2 of the 3 games, so he's another dreadful referee. But that's it, John. We need to just go with the flow, if you like, beating the referee and McLean on the VAR. It's going to be a very, very difficult task for us at Ibrox on Sunday, albeit Rangers couldn't beat a bottom of the league 10-man Livingston team, John, but it's going to be totally different at Ibrox, let's be honest. But we'll get into that at the weekend, John. Let's move on with the news surrounding Celtic. The Green Brigade, John, no immediate return for the Green Brigade. That was the outcome of this meeting between the Celtic Fans Collective and Brian Wilson, the CEO, John, and the meeting minutes have came out and no immediate return for the Green Brigade. So no surprise there either.
Nah, I don't think we'll see them again for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. They've made their mind up. They said at the start it was an indefinite ban, and they're no kidding. They've got absolutely no intention of letting them back in. Be it on their own heads, because the stadium atmosphere is totally dead with them. That's not going to drive a Celtic team on. Sitting in Celtic Park, 60,000 seat stadium with about 40,000 people in it. No atmosphere. Although some fans, they do their best to get the team going, but it's not enough. You've got to have the orchestration of the Green Brigade, I think. And when you're missing that, I don't think you see the best from the players. They're getting outsung by 500 away fans.
Yeah, I thought the atmosphere at Celtic Park against Hibs was tremendous, John, up till Trusty saw red, John. An absolute stupid thing he did. I thought the atmosphere was absolutely tremendous. Rangers were getting beat 2-0. We were just about to go ahead in the game as well, John, and that red card just totally killed the atmosphere at Celtic Park. So yeah, I think the atmosphere is up and down just now without the Green Brigade, John, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really poor. And I agree with you as well, John. I don't think they'll win anytime soon. I think that's going to be next season before the Green Brigade are back allowed into the stadium.
I just think a lot of fans have lost interest because there's still a lot of empty seats at Celtic Park. I think a lot of fans are starting to see through it, the way the board's treating the fans. I think fans are starting to lose interest, and they're losing interest fast, because every home game you're seeing empty seats all over the place. Although there was a decent crowd for the Hibs game, I'd say there's maybe 50,000 there, 52,000, something like that. But you're just starting to see a lot of empty seats. And is it any wonder that grass at Celtic Park is absolute mint condition? It's hardly been played on this season. I was looking at the Dundee United game against Aberdeen last night. That's a mess, that pitch. Tannadice, what an absolute disgrace that is. I don't think Pittodrie's going to be much better when we got there in a couple of weeks.
No, exactly.
Next week?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, next midweek. And by the way, competition. I forgot to mention that at the start there. League competition, league table on your left-hand side there. Nobody got the correct score. Clearly, Hibs winning 2-1 at Celtic Park at the weekend. So get your guess in for the Stuttgart game. I think there'll be a lot of people saying Celtic will lose this one, clearly. But get your guess in anyway. 3 points up for grabs to try and win the fantastic prize at the end of the season. Big box of Celtic goodies. Correct score competition. Get your guess in just now for Stuttgart versus Celtic. Good luck, everybody, with that. Right, John, moving on with the news. Another wee bit that came out of that meeting with the Celtic Fans Collective and the board was that Brian Wilson thinks that Nicholson is doing an acceptable job. He says his performance is acceptable, John. So basically the board are still disagreeing with everything the Celtic fan groups are saying.
Aye, I'd rather hear him saying he's doing an exceptional job than acceptable. Acceptable to me sounds like he's just doing enough for what we need. The Celtic fans don't like him. That's a simple truth. The reason they've got a football club is to please fans in the stadium. That's the reason there's a football club there. It's to please fans. Fans give them money. It's to please them. If every one of the fans stop going to Celtic Park, there's no Celtic. They're doing everything backwards, Ander. Everything is absolutely backwards. Outdated. They've got an outdated attitude towards the game, I think. I think that Celtic needs upgraded, and it needs upgraded fast. Yeah, the board don't like the fans and the supporters having a voice. That's the problem, John. And
we have a voice all over the place now. It's not like back in the 90s where there was no voice, they could do what they want. You know, you look back to the COVID season as well, John, it was the exact same situation. You know, nobody was allowed out, so they thought they could do what they want. Nobody could do anything. Stadiums were empty, couldn't voice their opinions, John, and look what happened during the COVID season. And it's very similar this season, what the board's doing to the Celtic fans. It's very, very poor. You know, the money we spent this season in the January window and the summer window, John, pennies compared to the seasons that we've spent in the past, and we just didn't bring in that top quality either. So you can understand where the supporters are coming from as regards to the board. Moving on, the rumours surrounding, we don't want to talk about other managers. Well, we've still got Martin O'Neill in charge, but we need to look ahead as well, John. We need to look ahead to next season where Martin O'Neill will be gone. We'll be looking for a new manager, and the Roberto Martinez rumours are getting stronger and stronger, John. He looks as though he could potentially be our manager next summer, John. You know, Martin O'Neill might be there another year, we don't know, but these are just rumours. But, you know, the newspapers are circling around this one, John. Roberto Martinez, ex-Belgium manager, John. He's a top quality manager, actually. You know, we'll be doing well to be getting him in charge of Celtic next season.
Aye, of course we would. We definitely need somebody. I mean, even before I get into that, I don't know how many managers are going to look at the situation at Celtic, the upheaval right now, and say, stick that up your jumper. That's no what I'm looking for. They don't want to be stuck in the middle of something like that. That's the way I'd be thinking about if I was a professional manager going into a club that was in turmoil. I'd be thinking, I don't think I want to get involved in that. I mean, I'm sure everybody would be the same.
I know, John. It's, you know, we're hoping by the summer. Well, we're hoping by the summer we're champions. Actually, we've still got a chance. We'll get into that in a wee minute. But we're hoping by the summer things have settled right down as the club and as a whole. John, settled right down. But I know what you're saying, John. And when the manager looking at the situation just now, we'd be thinking, "Oh, no, that's not for me." I mean, just total turmoil at the club just now, John. Which brings us on nicely, John, to have a wee word on the Hibs game at the weekend there, John. You know, Hibs going ahead again, another goal conceded, another 4 conceded against Stuttgart. You know, Kasper Schmeichel started this one. I was actually quite surprised at that, John. What did you think when you saw Schmeichel was the man from starting the game, John? The man starting the game in this one. I was shocked, to be honest with you, because he's off form. The fans are against him because of his performances, John, and his actions as well. You know, I've seen him having arguments with Celtic supporters in the last few games, you know, especially the away games. He shakes his head at protests and things like that, showing his dismay at protests. And of course, not everybody, agrees with the protests, but, you know, the fans are just against Schmeichel and his performances, John. 46 goals conceded, John, and that's not including international goals, by the way. But domestically, 46 goals conceded, and Martin O'Neill stick with them.
I mean, sticking with him because it's experience, isn't it? But you've got to look at the bigger picture when you're a manager. You've got to look at somebody that's doing the job that's required. And Kasper Schmeichel ain't doing that. He's terrible. He's past it. It's time for him to go. He shouldn't be at Celtic.
Yeah, well, John, you know, it's worrying. It really is worrying. I know from time to time he does pull off a decent save, but every goalkeeper's going to pull off a decent save from time to time, John. The Dundee goalkeeper pulls off decent saves, John. The Livingston goalkeeper pulls off decent saves. Look at the saves he pulled off against the Rangers at the weekend. Brilliant saves. So we can't just keep saying that he pulls off a good save from time to time. And for their own guy's sake as well, Kasper Schmeichel's own sake, he needs dropped, John. He needs out of that team for a week or two and give somebody else a chance. And then, as we said in the last podcast, maybe he'll come back a more refreshed player.
I just think it's time for him to go, Xander. I just don't think he's up to it. He's conceding far too many easy goals. His distribution's absolutely brutal. But like I said last time, in his defence, the Celtic defence isn't helping him much. So you've got to look at that side of it as well, but he's getting beat a lot of stupid goals from distance and all that stuff. But like I says, in his defence, there is no defence to back him up. The Celtic defence is absolutely shocking, by the way. It's so poor. I don't trust them going out against anybody and no conceding a goal. If we were playing, I keep saying Brecon City, no disrespect to Brecon City, it's always the first team that pops into my mind when I'm trying to show you how bad Celtic are. But if we were playing Brecon City, the Mora, would you concede goals?
Yeah, the whole situation is very, very mind-boggling for me, John, because you look at the start of the season when Kasper Schmeichel was going for a record amount of games, 118-year record for clean sheets for Celtic goalkeepers, John, and now we find ourselves in this position. You know, it's very, very strange. I don't know what's going on with the defence and Kasper Schmeichel, but, you know, we're too late in the season now, John, for us to start saying, or to keep on saying, sorry, we need to get it sorted, John. There's only something like, I don't know how many games there is left for Celtic, 10, 11, something like that, games left for Celtic. So, you know, the players have been playing together all season long, John, so I just think it's time for a change between the sticks.
Aye. It's definitely a time for a change. It has been for a while, to be honest with you. But like I says, in Kasper's defence, there is no backup from him. He's getting no help from his defence at all. And what was I going to say? I can't remember, but aye. A defensive coach right now on the bench. We've got Stephen McManus. Don't know if he's the right man for the job for that. I don't know much about big Steve McManus apart from he was a cracking defender for Celtic. But as I says before, I'd like to see somebody like Johan Mjällby back on the bench for Celtic. Somebody that knows Celtic well. I know Steve McManus knows Celtic well. I think he was probably a Celtic fan. But Johan Mjällby was a quality defender. A winner at Celtic. Got us to the Seville final and all that stuff. I'd like to see him on the bench. I'd like to see somebody like him, a defensive coach. I think he's a better presence. Aye, I'd love to see him on the bench for Celtic as a defensive coach, Sander. I said that the last time we spoke about the defence. I think he's your man for the job.
Yeah, that's it, John. Big McManus, by the way, John. He's came up through the Celtic youth, didn't he? 100% Celtic man, Big McManus. But I don't know if Martin should have maybe tried to bring in Neil Lennon as one of his assistants as well, John, midfield coach. You know, Martin and Neil Lennon together again. That would have been maybe something, you know, not as manager, just as a coach, to try and help out that midfield as well, because the midfield is struggling badly as well. And you can imagine that big Mjällby, Lennon and Martin O'Neill in charge at Celtic. That would have been something else. But anyway, John, we need to go with what we have on the bench, which is Sean Maloney, Martin O'Neill, John. And then, you know, it's all doom and gloom. We do realise that last two results have been pathetic. We play Stuttgart on Wednesday night. We're going for 3 defeats in a row, John, if we lose this one. And there's every chance we're going to lose this one. So, you know, it's very much unwanted records at the moment for Celtic.
It's just, the team's terrible, Sander. The team's absolutely terrible. I think we're all right going forward. It's getting back and defending that's the bad point. We're really, really poor defending as a team. I don't think Martin O'Neill's going to get any more than what he already has at the team, to be honest with him and Sean Maloney. And so, it's grim times. Sometimes I just think conceding the league, I just think I can't see Celtic coming back, Sander. We're too poor, too weak, too soft. There's no fight and determination, especially when it comes to the defensive side of the game. Of course, it doesn't help when you're getting players red carded a lot and you've got a weak goalkeeper. But I don't know. I think I'm conceding the title now, Xander. I just can't see Celtic coming back from this. We're too soft. The team's far too soft.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but John, I'm definitely not conceding it. I'll wait to see what happens at Ibrox on Sunday after the game, see what happens after the game, and then we'll take it from there, John. But, you know, I know what you're saying, that it's not just the results, John, it's the performances as well. You know, the Dundee game, the Falkirk game, the Kilmarnock game, all last minute goals, then a heavy defeat to Stuttgart, and now a defeat at home for the first time in 16 years to a very poor Hibernian team, John.
Hibs are poor. I don't like them. I still think they're a better team than Hearts, to be honest with you. I don't rate Hearts that highly either, by the way. But I think they're slightly better than Hearts. Celtic shouldn't be getting turned over by Hibs at Celtic Park. There's no way that should be happening. I thought Hibs played okay. I thought they were alright. I didn't think they were anything spectacular. But it's just, Celtic should never be getting turned over by Hibs. That's especially with Mark O'Neill in charge. And the money that Celtic pay the players in wages compared to what Hibs pay their players. And I said to you before, I don't see any difference between teams like Hibs and Celtic now. They've all caught up, Sander. They've all caught up with Celtic. Everybody might say doom and gloom from me all the time recently, but I'm only reflecting what I see on the park. I just think all the teams look just as good as Celtic.
Yeah, the amount of defeats and the results tell you everything you need to know, John. You don't need to listen to us to know exactly what's going on at Celtic. And by the way, Motherwell are the team to watch just now, aren't they? What the result was for them the other night.
Aye, I watched that Absalom game. 5-0 against St Mirren away from home. I think Motherwell's fantastic, by the way. A really, really good team. Remind me a lot of Celtic under Brendan Rodgers in his first spell in charge. Remind me a lot of that. And that's on a tight budget. I think Ascu's done a fantastic job there. You have to give that guy credit. He's done a brilliant job. Amazing, Xander. They just looked brilliant to watch. Really easy on the eye. No panicking from them. They're all walking about with the ball like they were Brazil, by the way. I really enjoyed watching them. Fantastic team. Yeah,
they're definitely worth the watching, John, and they'll have a big say in where the title goes as well, John. Anyway, back to this Hibs game, John. No penalty for Liam Scales. I know we're going on a few days after the game, right? But we've not had a wee word on it yet, John. So no penalty for Liam Scales. He gets dragged to the floor by Cadden inside the box. Now, John, if this goes to VAR and the penalty is given, Cadden is yellow carded. He's sent off because he's already on a yellow card. And the penalty was awarded to Celtic, so it's 10 against 10 with a penalty to Celtic. It's just the VAR, John, the SFA, whatever you want to look at it, are really shafting us as well at the moment.
It's VAR's got to go, Xander. It's doing Celtic absolutely no favours whatsoever. You're looking back at some, it could go through odd incidents, but the most recent one that springs to mind with me was Kieran Tierney getting kicked in the face and nothing was done about it. So how's this VAR helping Celtic at all? The guy that kicked Kieran Tierney in the head, 6 foot off the ground, right in the face, and nothing gets done about it. Where's the red card for the player that done that? I mean, where's the justice for Celtic? There's none.
Very similar to the Yang red card, very similar. So VAR is definitely not doing its job at all, especially when it comes to Celtic games, John. So that was a high foot on the face. Not even looked at by VAR actually, and then as I say, John, the drag to the floor by Scales inside the box while the ball is in play. You got to remember Trusty's incident was the ball wasn't in play with Trusty's incident, but it's still violent conduct, I suppose. But the ball is in play with the Scales incident, John, and he is dragged to the floor, arms all around him, dragged to the floor inside the box. No penalty, John. So can't wait till we go to Ibrox when we've got McLean on the VAR, John. And
it's going to be bad.
Beaten, you know, it's going to be one of the days, isn't it?
It is. I watched Rangers against Hearts at Ibrox a couple of weeks ago, 4-2 Rangers it was, and there was a penalty incident in that game that wasn't given to Hearts. Rangers defender, can't remember what one it was, jumped up and hit the ball with his hand. It wasn't much different from, do you remember the game Celtic beating Rangers 2-1? I think it was 2-1, I can't remember. But there was a big Carlos Cuellar put his hand up on the line and the ball hit off the bar, hit off his hand and went onto the bar. Celtic got the penalty for it. Don't know if you remember that. Years ago, Carlos Cuellar saved the ball with his hand and it went onto the bar. So this Rangers incident was pretty much the same situation as that. The Rangers defender went up, saved the ball with his hand. It was about 14 yards out or something like that, 15 yards out. Jumps up for the header. Doesn't hit his head. He puts his hand up and it hits off his hand. No penalty.
Yeah, and it's happening every single weekend. As I say, John, teams getting sent down to 10 men when they play Rangers. John, Livingston was one. I think Dundee was one. St Mirren was one. Can't remember the other teams, John. So, you know, and luckily, you know, probably for Hearts at this moment. Luckily for them, Rangers are not winning their games, drawn with Motherwell, drawn with Livingston. Every time they play these teams, John, they're getting sent down to 10 men, the teams Rangers are playing. So, but they're not gaining from it, but they're gaining points, John. 1 point here, 1 point there. It all adds up.
Every little helps. But
Yeah.
in what world does jumping up and hitting the ball with your hand, where does that say it's not a penalty? That's a stone wall penalty if ever you've seen one. Any player jumps up and hits the ball with his hand, it's a stone wall penalty and you're booked. Nothing happened to that player for that. Absolutely nothing. It showed you it in the slow motion replay. I'm not even sure if it went to VAR or no. I can't remember, but that's the difference between Celtic and them. They're getting every decision gone, and they say we're paranoid, but I'm telling you facts that happened. If that was a Rangers player getting kicked in the face, that player was getting sent off, whoever done it. It's not even looked at. Kieran Tierney kicked right in the face. You says it's similar to Yangs. It was nothing like Yangs. Yangs never even contacted the player. It was the intention to go up and sent off. But the one with Kieran Tierney, he was actually kicked square right in the head, and nothing was done about that. So that's what we're up against. Every Celtic fan's got to bear that in mind. We're up against it. There's a level of cheating going on here, and I'm sure every Celtic fan can see it. And it's terrifying to see, Xander, the level of cheating that's going on. They're doing everything in their power to stop Celtic. That's what I see with my own eyes. I watch these games and I can see these things happening. And for Celtic, they're getting absolutely nothing. When it's penalty kicks and red cards against them and all that, they're getting nothing. But on the other side of the city, they're getting all the soft decisions gone. Absolutely everything gone for them. Avoiding penalty kicks against them and all that. It's unbelievable, by the way. That's no paranoia. I'm seeing it with my own eyes.
Yeah, that's it, John. There's definitely a level of cheating going on. I don't care if people say that I'm paranoid. Couldn't care less, to be honest with you. By the way, with regards to Yang's red cards and the Hibs player, I was talking about the height of the foot. John was the exact same. The height of the boot was the exact same. So it's just as dangerous. One is just as dangerous as the other, whether it's just intent or not. But you just say when the Celtic player gets punished for it, the Hibs player doesn't. Right, okay, that'll do it for the Hibs game, John.
That wasn't Hibs that happened against, wasn't it? That was the Tierney one. Hearts. No, it wasn't Hearts. Was it Hearts?
Yang was against Hearts, yeah.
Yang was against Hearts, but the Kieran Tierney one was against, I'm sure it was Dundee. Or Falkirk. No,
there was a high boot in the Hibs game as well, John. I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about the one Kieran Tierney get kicked square in the head.
That was the game before. I think it was Dundee. But there was also one in the Hibs game as well, John, and it was also Kieran Tierney. So I thought that's the one you were talking about. But anyway, it doesn't matter. No,
I didn't see that one. But the decisions for Celtic are unbelievable. I'm no sticking up for Austin Trusty, by the way. That one, the guy's an absolute clown for even thinking about doing that, forcing a punch onto a player's arm. So I don't know, I'm still kind of 50-50 whether it was a sending off. In this country, you're running the risk with the referees we've got.
Yeah, of course. And it's another game we have to come from behind, John. Another game we've conceded first into Hibs, scoring first in the game. And, we're used to it now, teams scoring first and having to turn it around. But as you say, the red card just killed it for us on Sunday there, John. All right, that's it. The points are gone. We need to move on to the next league game because as far as I'm concerned, the Stuttgart game means absolutely nothing. We need to field as weak a team as possible so we can go to Ibrox and get all 3 points, John, because anything other than all 3 points, it's over for us.
I can't see Celtic getting 3 points there. Just cannot see it. There's no life in that team. They need an injection from somewhere. I don't know where they're going to get it. Who's going to hype them up for this game? I don't think Martin O'Neill's going to do that. I think Martin O'Neill's got his hands tied. I don't think they're going to do that. If you can't do it against Hibs at Celtic Park, you're not going to do it against Rangers at Ibrox because they'll be hungrier than Celtic, trust me.
Yeah. Well, that's Sunday, John. We'll wait and see. A good result in Germany might be that wee boost we're all looking for. And let's get into that then, John. Stuttgart game on Thursday night. Absolutely dreading it. The MHP Arena, 60,441 capacity. Brilliant stadium there, John. Celtic will be getting 2,900 tickets, potentially going up to 3,000 tickets in the MHP Arena on Thursday night, John. But this game, it doesn't really bear thinking about. But, away from home in Europe on our travels, we've been okay. But if he starts with Kasper Schmeichel and goal, John, he's already conceded 19 Europa League goals.
I done it. HMP, I thought that was Ibrox. HMP, Her Majesty's Prison. That's
MHP.
Right. NHP.
MHP, yeah.
I got it all right. But anyway, I'll just use that to have a wee pop at them anyway. HMP.
Yeah.
HMP Alcatraz, aka Ibrox.
Yeah, that's it. But no, it's Celtic fans have been dwarfed in a wee corner in that massive stadium, John, with that huge capacity, similar to Celtic Park actually. But it doesn't matter for me, John. All we want to do is avoid injury to players like Callum McGregor if he starts, players like Liam Scales if he starts, all the sort of players which we can't afford to lose, because the injury list and suspension list is so great now, John. We cannot afford to lose one more player.
No, we can't afford to lose anybody else. But I don't know if Martin's getting tensions or fielding a weak inside here. Martin O'Neill in Europe, he likes to think Celtic can do something in Europe. That's Martin's attitude towards Europe. Personally, I don't think this Celtic team are capable of beating Stuttgart away from home. Right now, everything that's surrounding the club, it's hard to be positive, Xander. I can't say anything positive because what I'm seeing does not fill me with a modicum of hope. So it's hard to be positive about it. I don't know, maybe Martin will field a weaker team and keep his first team players for Ibrox on Sunday. I really don't know. I mean, if the players get one eye on Ibrox on Sunday, they know potentially if Rangers beat us, it could end the season. I really don't know what Martin O'Neill's plans are, but if I was Martin O'Neill, I'd be fielding a weakened team.
Yeah, but I had a wee quick look at what I thought the team would be, John, a weakened team. I think we'd maybe go with try to save players for Ibrox, as you say. So I'm looking at Sinisalo in goal, Ralston at right back, Trusty and Scales, because there is no really anybody else to can play in there. Big Trusty can play because he's, suspended for Ibrox, so he can play as Sriracha at left back with McGregor, in the midfield with McCowan and Bernardo. So give your, Nigrans, etc. a rest. Hatatis a rest. With Forrest on the right, Adamu up front and Maeda on the left, who, by the way, his form has been pretty poor for the last 3 or 4 months, I would say.
Dyson's been terrible. He's obviously wanting away for Celtic. His heart's no in it. If your heart's no in playing for a club, you shouldn't be on the pitch. It's as simple as that. But he's been really poor. Like the whole team's been really poor. We can't just single out one player. We've singled out Kasper Schmeichel, Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, Hitati. It goes right through the whole team, Xander. There isn't, it's like I says a couple of weeks ago, there isn't one guy on that park that's getting more than 5 out of 10 per game. Maybe Kieran Tierney, I think his performances have been kind of alright. What's his name? Vanchara. He doesn't fill me with any confidence. Does he fill you with confidence? I'm not enjoying anything that I'm seeing from him.
That was a dreadful miss for him against Hibs, wasn't it, John? He had to take the touch. A top quality striker doesn't need to take a touch there to put his head in the game as well, John. He takes a touch and then he scuffs his shot by the post. Any other striker, even Big Iheanacho would have buried that. And where is he, by the way? Where is Big Iheanacho? That's another question, isn't it? But Martin O'Neill, he must know what he's doing by playing players like Iheanacho and starting with Schmeichel, blah blah blah. I went through it all already, John. We just need to go with what the manager thinks. But 2 defeats in a row, going for 3 defeats in a row in Germany is not ideal, John. But hopefully we can get some sort of result here in Stuttgart, John. 2-5 Stuttgart to win the game, 92 the draw, and 71 Celtic to win the game in 90 minutes. with Celtic having a 1, count it, John, 1% chance to qualify.
I didn't expect any more than that, to be honest with you. Celtic have got no chance of qualifying. They looked terrified of Stuttgart. They were miles off of Stuttgart. I mean, miles. The players were, all right, let's change it, yards. They were yards off Stuttgart. You're looking at guys like Callum McGregor getting nowhere near the Stuttgart players, nowhere near them, yards away from them. And that continued for 90 minutes. I don't know where Martin O'Neill gets this from, by the way, when he says that was never a 4-1 game. Stuttgart looked like they could score every time they went up the park.
Yeah, I know. It's the same in every game. John, any team that we play fancy their chances against us, and that's never been the case. And for as long as I know, the COVID season, obviously, that was the last time that we felt like that any team could score against us. But apart from that COVID season, it didn't actually count. John, I can't remember the last time I felt like that with a team, any team. You just talked about Brecon City earlier on. I don't know about Brecon, but I know what you're saying. When was the last time any team fancied scoring against Celtic? Because every single team that plays against Celtic now, they must fancy their chances.
Of course they spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. Any team that goes up against Celtic, they're rubbing their hands. They can't wait to get on that park, go up against that shoddy defence and shoddy keeper. They can't wait. You can see the way teams are playing now. There's no fear. They do not fear Celtic. It's gone. That fear has gone. Celtic Park's no longer a fortress either. That's gone. So, what more can I say other than Stuttgart will be no different. They certainly won't fear Celtic.
Yeah, I think our only hope is if they field a weakened team, John. And the manager's already come out and said that he isn't going to field a weakened team, so we can only go by what their manager says. And Martin might not field a weakened team either, John. He might go strong as well. We just don't know. We're waiting Thursday night to find out exactly what the lineups are going to be. But my, I don't know, lineup for Stuttgart, I think it'll be the same as last week, really, John. Nubel and goal, Wangerman, Jeltsch, Hendricks, Mittelstad, Krasor, Stiller, Luling, Undav, who is a very good player, John. We did mention him in the preview of that game. Undav in midfield, what a player, goal scorer. Ilka Nui and Demirovic up front, John. So I think he's going to go very strong, unfortunately for us.
It's very unfortunate. That Hendricks, by the way, is some guitarist.
He's some football player and all for Celtic years ago, wasn't he? Hendricks Larsson.
Aye, Hendricks Larsson. Imagine having somebody like him in the team right now. That'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it? But I think Stuttgart will field a strong side, and they'll try and get the job done for half time, and then they'll throw a lot of youngsters on or something like that. Wait and see what happens. It's not happened yet. I can't say I'm looking forward to it, by the way. That's I was looking forward to that Hibs game. I didn't think we would get turned over at Celtic Park, by the way, but the fragility's there for all to see, isn't it?
Well, you did say on the preview of the Hibs game, John, that you wouldn't be surprised, was your actual words. If Hibs turned us over at Celtic Park, you would not be surprised. And that is exactly what happened at Celtic Park on Sunday there, John. But, John, for me, it's getting this Stuttgart game out of the road. It really is. I just can't wait till it's done. We're out of Europe, and then we can concentrate on the league. Maybe too late, John. Maybe too late. Things are slipping away from us. I know people look at the league table and say, yeah, we've got a game in hand. Of course we have. We win at Ibrox, and we win our game in hand, win the next 2 league games. The complexion is totally different.
It is totally different, but the players are given nothing. That's the problem. If the players start giving 100%, of course we've got an outstanding chance to win the league. But right now, the players are not up for the fight. This isn't paranoia. Any Celtic fans listening might be saying, listen to him, but look at the performances. Especially the one against Stuttgart, by the way, but we're not talking about the Stuttgart game. We're talking about in the league. We're conceding all sorts of goals against all sorts of diddy teams. And that goes right back to the start of the season with Brendan Rodgers and Charles. We were getting beat with teams. then Nancy, of course, getting beat with absolute garbage like Dundee United and all that stuff. I think all that, put that into one big pot, it's culminated in a very, very fragile Celtic team who don't know if they're coming or gone. So something's got to change rapidly for Celtic to win the league, Xander. Something has got to change rapidly. There's got to be a spark somewhere, from somewhere, and I hope it comes. I hope 100% of this spark comes, but I don't know where it's going to come from. I really, really don't. I just can't see Celtic getting on and winning this league. I can't see it.
Yeah, you're not the only one that thinks that, John. Going by everything, the whole season, let's be honest. Performances up and down, more down than up, let's be honest. That's the way we're sitting in third place. Where I think Motherwell only 3 or 4 points behind us actually in the fourth place. So it's very tough season, John. But as you said, we've been waiting on that spark for months. This spark igniting, John, has been absolutely nothing. If anything, it's getting worse. So we'll wait and see what Ibrox brings on Sunday, John. But let's continue with the Stuttgart game for another wee minute, John. Score prediction time. That doesn't bear thinking about either, does it, John? Because if it is for 3 points in the league table, nobody wants to go against their team, but you've got to be realistic in the same breath. What's your predicted score for Stuttgart against Celtic?
Aye, anybody that's never listened before, he doesn't mean the league table as in the Scottish Premier League. He means the league table as in the competition.
Yeah, I don't think Stuttgart are in the SPL.
Well, some people might be wondering, 3 points in the league. Well, what's the talk about? 3 points in the league.
Well,
league table,
if you've been listening, you would hear me talking about the league table earlier on. So.
Aye, well, the big league table, that's the big competition. Everybody on the left-hand side of the screen. A lot of our regulars in there. And I'm sitting right at the top. But this is tough, isn't it? It's bordering on no even want to watch this game, Xander, to be honest with you. For me. I think I'm going to say 3-1 to Stuttgart.
Okay, John. 3-1. And I'm going 2-0 to Stuttgart in this one. Unbelievable, isn't it, John? Considering we went to Bayern Munich less than a year ago and put in a fantastic performance in Germany. And a similar thing might happen, John, but, you know, the end outcome's going to be the same. We're going to be out of Europe come Thursday night, and I hope and pray that I may eat my words, John, but that's just not going to happen, is it?
It's definitely not going to happen. I don't know if there's any Celtic fans out there that think it is going to happen. If you do think it's going to happen, I think you're deluding yourself quite a lot. Let us know in the comments any Celtic fans that think Celtic's going to go to Stuttgart and turn them over 4-0 to qualify. Do you think that's going to happen? Anybody? Let us know in the comments. I mean, I'm just being realistic, Xander. Normally I'm all for Celtic. I'll always, even away from home, I'll back them for a win. I'll say I think we can do this, unless it's Real Madrid or something like that. But no, we've regressed so far. There's absolutely no chance of that happening. I'm going to stick with my scoreline of 3-1.
Okay, folks, get your guess in for the league table on your left-hand side there, as John says. One guess each into the comments to win the fantastic prize at the end of the season. Good luck with that. Whether you're picking Celtic or Stuttgart, but good luck anyway. If you get 3 points, the board's been a wee while if I've had 3 points on that board for anybody. And if you want to join that league table, just leave your name in the comments for next season. We'll get you joined into the league table for next season, and we'll join you for the remaining games of this season as well. Just leave your name in the comments and we'll add you, because there's 3 or 4 spaces still there.
I was going to say, I'm just wondering what people thought. If you want me to read a couple of quick comments out, Xander, just a couple, just to see. I want to hear other people's opinions rather than me and you just saying we've no chance and all that. I just want to see if there's anybody there that thinks different.
Yeah, go for it, John. Yeah, run through a couple, no problem.
We'll start with, we haven't done comments for a long time. Apologies for that, everybody. There's just been so much crap surrounding Celtic right now. We've not really had the time to talk about comments.
Yeah, before you go on, John, what I was going to do, I was going to leave it for next season, actually, but we could maybe start it after the Rangers game. It's a top 5 comments. We'll read out the top 5 comments because there is a lot of commenters. We can't read out them all. So if you want to get your comment in, folks, for even the just the weekend, the preview of Ibrox game, get your comments in for that. If you want to talk about Stuttgart, if you want to talk about Hibs, if you want to talk about anything, get your comments in and we'll read out the top 5 comments in every single podcast. How's that, John?
Well, just going from top to bottom, so I'll read a few anyway. James Doran, obviously James is a regular, so I'll just say James has started by saying, complete disaster, losing to an average Hibs team is totally unacceptable, but we weren't helped by dodgy officials, Sander, the Liam Scales penalty. What did you think, James, by the way? What did you think of the Trusty incident? Do you think that was... I think it was justified. I think it was justified. I don't think you should be using any kind of force. To me, he's punched the boy in the arm. I think the boy's overreacted as well, by the way. But for me anyway, looking at it a few times, it was a justified red.
Yeah. I think it's the VAR and his appeal getting rejected. John tells you everything you need to know there, to be honest with you.
Aye, well, that's it for me as well, Xander. I mean, I'm looking at the Liam Scales penalty, though, and I can agree with James when he says we weren't helped by dodgy officials. I think there was a couple of calls for a penalty kick to Celtic, but the Trusty one, I think it was justified.
Yeah, there was a high boot earlier I was talking about. I thought it was... Tierney, wasn't Tierney, it was Tenecti, high boot and Tenecti, nothing given, wasn't even looked at. Then there was the pull on Scales inside the box, wasn't given, penalty wasn't given. That would have been an automatic red card, a second yellow for the Hibs player, Cadden. John, he would have been sent off, and a penalty to Celtic, that also wasn't given. And then the first thing Celtic do wrong in the game is an automatic red card. So yeah, that's what we're up against.
Well, this is it. I mean, you've got to really toe the line when you're a Celtic player. You've got to really keep on top of just keep control of yourself. Remember, you're up against VAR when you're playing these games. That's what you've got to remember when you're a Celtic player. You're going to get nothing. So anyway, moving on from that, Sander.
Yeah.
What's this guy's name? Wally Larson. Surely that's no Henrik's brother.
I don't know if Henrik's got a brother. Get him signed.
I really don't know, but Wally Larson says we're a tough watch, too many touches, not enough crosses, frustrating. I think there's quite a lot of crosses put into the box, to be honest with you, against Hibs. Never came to much, mind you, but too many passes, too much trying to walk it into the net still. What do you think?
It's definitely enough. Not enough. I don't think there's enough crosses into the box, to be honest with you, John. You've got this big 6'5" striker in there. We're dilly-dallying on the edge of the box, still back the way, forwards, back the way, sideways. It's hard to watch. The guy's right, actually. The commenter's right, John. I think we need to actually start fizzing that ball into the box. And we also need to start getting midfielders going into the box as well, John, when the crosses do come in, because sometimes when these crosses come in, there's nobody there. It's quite bad, actually.
It's pretty poor. We need a striker to get on the end of the crosses as well, because we haven't got a striker. That's just my opinion, but it's just mostly it's the same players as last season, but I think teams they're onto Celtic, Xander. They know exactly how Celtic play, and that's never a good thing.
No, it's got to be changed up, John. You know, I know I keep saying it, John, but when Nancy came in and they got rid of him, I was concerned about the players being able to go for a 4th time in one season. And it looks as though we've not been able to do that, John. That's what it looks like to me anyway. I know the results under Martin O'Neill have been decent, you know, first league defeat since he's came back. And that is very decent, actually. But, John, when there's pressure at the top of the league table with 2 teams above us in the league, that big 3 points dropped at home against Hibs, John, is absolutely massive, John. And the games before that, John, struggling to away wins against Kilmarnock, struggling to wins against Livingston, and you know the story, John. I just think it's been a struggle, especially the last 3 months of this season.
No, it's been bad. I mean, I think it all comes down to the predictability of the way Celtic play. It's too predictable. I can see exactly what's coming when I'm watching Celtic. I know exactly how they're playing. So a professional football manager and coaches is going to watch that. They're going to know as well, Xander. That's the truth. Anyway, moving on. Christian Schneider says, I support Celtic Football Club through bad times and good times. They are my club. Well, so do we. We support Celtic through the good and bad. Me and Xander both lived through the bad in the 90s. Going to Celtic Park with 12,000, sometimes 8,000 people there and all that stuff. Went every week. Supported them through the good times and the bad times. But it doesn't say we're not entitled to have an opinion.
Yeah, well, we can't go saying we're fantastic, John, when we're clearly not fantastic. That's the bottom line. Doesn't mean to say you're not supporting your team. Do you think we're missing Engels?
I don't miss him.
I think we're missing him. That midfield has been right rotten for he came out of the team, John.
Aye, it's been bad. But I don't know if you'd make it a jot of difference, to be honest with you, Xander. Anyway, that's just my opinion. You might be slightly different to me.
Yeah.
Maybe Engels would add a wee bit more, Xander. I'm not too sure, but I suppose it's no coincidence that we've lost games since his departure.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And he's not going back for another 4 weeks or something. So it's you know, I said last week, John, one man doesn't make a team. You know, other players should be stepping in there. I think it's maybe a time to give Luke McCowan his running the team again.
I don't know, Xander. I don't rate him either, to be honest with you. I just think it goes right through the whole team. I don't rate any Celtic player right now. Probably Origo. Probably he's really good. And Sriracha, I think he's really good as well. Kieran Tierney, he's been decent. He's tried his best. Other than that, it's lacklustre from every single player, Xander. That's just what I see. I'm only telling you what I see. And I'm not seeing anything that gets me off my seat.
No, the only other one really is Tinecti. Getting a wee tune to Tinecti as well, John. But as you say, I mean, if you run through them all, Kvinchara not getting the service. Dyson, very poor this season. Real Hattati, non-existent, to be honest with you. Callum McGregor, he's surrounded by players that are not putting in the right effort as far as I'm concerned. I think they're not running on 100%. I think they're running on about 80, to be honest with you. And then you've got your defence, you're leaking goals right, left and centre, John. So you're right, it's right through the full team.
Right through the whole team, and it's just like a disease spreading, Xander. There's no stopping it. I don't know if Mark O'Neill's going to be able to pick it up. I certainly hope he can pick it up. He's a legendary guy, but I think it's too little too late, to be honest with you. Moving on, Xander. Doe Hauser, I think he's a Hearts fan, by the way, says, I'm worried now. Maybe he's no Hearts fan, I really don't know. But he says, I'm worried now. The old firm, he's definitely not a Celtic fan, are a state. Feels like it's written in the stars for the Hearts.
Yeah, well, I mean, why would you not think that if you're a Hearts supporter, John? I suppose you're sitting top of the league, you're 4 points clear of your nearest challengers, a very, very poor Rangers team, and then you're 6 points clear of your third place challenger, Celtic, with a game in hand. Celtic got that game in hand, you've got to remember, who would jump above Rangers if we win that game in hand, but we've got to Ibrox and win as well. But if you're a Hearts supporter, John, you would be feeling confident.
Aye, definitely. I mean, they're top of the league. They're looking at what's below them struggling. That would certainly give me confidence. I mean, when your rivals are struggling, it gives you confidence. It definitely gives you confidence. And that's what Hearts are looking at. They've slipped up so many times themselves, Hearts, yet they're still at the top of that league. So, aye, that would be giving me confidence if I was a Hearts player, sorry.
Absolutely, John. You know, you've got to say fair play to them. You know, first, you mentioned there about them losing games, drawing games, but they bounce back, don't they, the next week, and then they put in, you know, a winning performance. I mean, beating Hibs, you know, that last minute goal. Well, that is the sign of champions, John. Let's be honest. That is clearly the sign of champions. But, you know, it's down to Celtic, John. It's all down to what Celtic do now. You know, it's still in our own hands. Win every game. We're champions.
Aye. To win every game, it's that's just fantasy stuff for me, Xander. the way Celtic are right now, I know if we win every game we'll be champions, but to me that's just fantasy, isn't it? I don't see any realism in that. I just can't see that Celtic team raising their game to win every game. I hope I'm proved totally wrong and we can do that. I just can't see it.
Yeah, you look at the Hearts, John, right? You look at Hearts, but we'll continue this conversation since we're on it anyway. Obviously, big 2 games for Celtic, Rangers and then Aberdeen. The game in hand on the Wednesday night against Aberdeen. But Hearts play first on Saturday, John. You think about if they won that game against Aberdeen at Tynecastle, they jumped 7 points ahead of Rangers and 9 points ahead of Celtic. It's huge for them.
9 points ahead with a few games remaining. They're not going to falter there. They're going to keep going. They're going to motor on and win the league if that's the case. The only other thing is, Rangers, can they top Hearts? I really don't know. I really don't know if they're good enough to do that either, to be honest with you. But right now, as I speak, I can't see Celtic topping them. If we go to Ibrox on Sunday and beat them, I might think differently. I might think if we can go there and win in a hostile atmosphere like Ibrox and get 3 points, that'll give the players a huge lift because they'll not be in Europe by that time. All they've got is the league to look forward to, obviously Scottish Cup games as well. But if we can beat Rangers at Ibrox, it might give me a wee perk up. It might give all the Celtic fans a wee perk up, and we might actually believe we can go in and win the league. That's the only thing I can say, Sander. If we beat them at Ibrox on Sunday, I'd maybe slightly change my mind, very, very slightly, and think we can go in and win the league. Give us all a big lift, you know.
Yeah, of course it would, John. Of course it would. In fact, I think our chances of winning the league would be up to 50% if we go to Ibrox and win there on Sunday. But we'll wait and see, John. We'll wait and see. We'll talk about that in more depth come Saturday. We'll be on Saturday, John. Any more comments for us?
Nah, there's just a couple of idiots. We'll name and shame a couple of idiots. A couple of wallopers of the week here.
Yeah,
take your pick. I want everybody that's listening to this to take their pick. Who's the biggest walloper of the week? Who's getting the gold cup this week? Or the egg cup? So the first one is Toffer Cornett, who says, heart and soul to get beat 2-1. Shut it, Specky. Talking about Martin O'Neill.
Aye, heard that one before actually, haven't we? Rocket science there, eh? Yeah, brilliant.
So that's Toffer Cornett. Is he your walloper of the week so far? I don't think so, because bring in Jordan Gilmore. Back to the nursing home, talking about Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, heard that one before, using other people's patter. Absolutely tremendous. Well done, Gilmore. The name tells you everything you need to know there. I'll give it to Gilmore, unless there's any more you wanted to read out, John.
It's just walloper of the week.
Yeah, okay. Gilmore wins it for me. What about you?
Gilmore's a dead cert, aye. I mean... Aye, so there you go, Jordan Gilmore. Mine and Xander's walloper of the week. Let us know who your walloper of the week is in the comments. I don't know if there's any other wallopers of the week, Xander, in the games that were played during the week.
I didn't listen to any of the interviews as regards to opposite managers, John. I didn't watch any of the Sky Sports or anything like that, or whatever channel it was on, so I've not got anything for you there, buddy.
Everybody seems to go on about Celtic complaining about referees, but it's there for everybody to see, isn't it? It's totally 100% there for everybody to see. And you're obviously a fan of another team if you think different. But the total contempt of Celtic from these officials is unbelievable, Xander. It's bordering on sickening, to be honest with you. We're seeing it week in, week out. I know Celtic have only got themselves to blame when it comes to, no taking chances and all that side of the game. But the officials definitely contribute a lot to what's happening at Celtic Park. But that's just my take on it, and most other Celtic fans. We'll leave it there anyway for comments.
Yeah, that's it, John. Yeah. That's concerning, John. I realise concerning. And the more you mention it, the more people call you paranoid. So, as I said there, I couldn't care less who thinks we're paranoid, because I'll keep saying it, because we need to highlight what's actually going on in the Scottish game, John. It's absolutely dreadful. And then they give us Beaton and McLean for Ibrox. So there you go. That tells you everything that you need to know. John Beaton standing in the Crown Bar, Bellshill Rangers pub, photographs of him celebrating, you know, the Rangers titles, things like that, John. And that's who they're put in charge of a game at Ibrox when Celtic go to visit. Right, John, we've got a day there. We've went on and on a wee bit there, actually getting a lot off our chest, which is quite good, actually. But, you know, still in their own hands. League title still in their own hands. We just need the players to put in that extra 30-40%, to be perfectly honest with you, John, and we'll see what happens. All right, John, we'll catch you on Saturday, buddy, for the big preview of the Glasgow Derby.
Can't wait, Xander. Hail, hail.
John, hail, hail. And we'll see you on Saturday, buddy.